within a minute of us being in the same group.
Yeah, some banger gets said.
Oh, God. So it's,
Shit. Get out of here, Discord.
preemptive.
Yeah.
Say something fucking stupid, and you'll be like, "Yeah, this is how we start the show."
And that's every podcast.
Yeah. Fire
Yeah.
Sheldon Keefe. There's something stupid. Let's go.
Oh yeah, reactionary. Someone's gonna get fucking dealt this before the next game,
It should be a trade.
or if they
but
hold on to the fort.
I bet
Yeah.
you they're gonna fire Keefe. But it should be a trade.
All that and more coming up on this episode of the Tougie's Take podcast.
I was gonna go get water. My Brita filter is empty.
You know
There's
what?
some
If you're
water
gonna
in
get
there.
water, I'm gonna get water. That's a good idea because I actually haven't.
We'll be
gotten
back
any.
right after this hydration break.
We'll just throw the
Okay,
ad.
can we
read in
please
here,
edit
like,
that in
whatever.
at least?
Yes.
Yeah.
XFL. Hold on.
So this is all going into the podcast, right?
I hope so. The XFL's
it
back,
has
boys.
to, given
I'm
that
so
you just
excited.
you just gave us two potential episode titles in Flavor Juice and Flatwater Pleb.
They're both so good.
They are.
Shit.
I'll tweak. I'll do something with us for sure.
Oh, God. So as mentioned, welcome everybody to another edition of the Tougie's Take podcast, where we will in fact be talking about the Toronto Maple Leafs. We will in fact be talking about the reborn XFL, the Dwayne Johnson, the Rock Dwayne led XFL.
Cock rock
The
the man.
pecs.
There you go.
The abs.
Oh, God, his fucking
Rock.
song.
It's about drive. It's about power. We stay hungry. We devour.
Thank you. I was too white to remember the lyrics, and that's okay. So, gentlemen, how was your weekend? It's the Halloween. It's the spookies, but it's
Yeah.
Monday, so
Yeah.
nobody really cares about Halloween except for children. Let's be honest. All the adults got drunk and dressed slutty on the weekend. Sin, how was your weekend?
I got drunk and dressed slutty. No, just kidding. I didn't either, obviously. At least obviously for one of those. Which one? I don't know.
I know which one it would have been.
Yeah, it's fine. I went axe throwing yesterday. That was great.
Just getting back into finished shape, you know?
I'm so depressed. From last week to this week, flight prices like doubled for the same, like even for like, I don't get it. I don't understand how they do flight prices, and I never fucking will. It's like monumentally different week to week, and it's very frustrating because now I'm probably not gonna be able to go in November.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it means more NHL 2K10 on stream, but it doesn't because
Yeah, because
again,
you're gonna be doing
War.
God of War, and I was like,
Oh, yeah.
perfect, I'll be gone. Whatever.
I'll be doing my own axe throwing.
Yeah. Beat that game quick.
God, I will. I'm not gonna put it down, so I probably will. Let's be honest.
All right.
Endo, how was your weekend?
Fucking boring, dude. I didn't really do anything.
Loser.
I didn't really do anything on weekend. I don't really do anything. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't know. I'm just in a somber mood. Not related to the Leafs, just in general, man.
Life got you down.
Yeah. That's it.
Well,
Just yeah.
That sounded like an ad.
An ad? Who would we
Yeah.
possibly advertise for?
No, it's just like life got you down. It sounds like there's a follow up to that, like that
there
like
was
an old
supposed
commercial.
to be. I just couldn't think.
Okay.
Of
Oh, okay. I thought you just
Nuts getting
Fuck.
too
I'm sorry.
hairy.
Get exposed though.
Fuck. I was
Life
sitting
got
there
you-
desperately trying to think of something, and I just couldn't.
Life got you down. Nuts too hairy. If you can solve that problem with Manscaped beautiful products, including their
Ooh.
lawnmower 4.0. It's got a little flashlight, you know, you can see like where
I
the
love
fuck you're
that
going.
flashlight.
It's that bad. You know, if you're growing it out, you're trying to be gritty down by your nitty gritty, you know, just clean that up, trim it.
You should never
Life
be having
got you
sex.
down. Life got you down. Trim the hair to match. The best I got. Manscaped.com. Code Tougie, Tougie at checkout for 20% off your order and free shipping. As Endo mentioned, a variety of top-notch products. You won't get any better than our friends at Manscaped for all of your grooming needs. That's manscaped.com. Code Tougie, 20% off free shipping. Manscaped.com.
Winning.
Gentlemen, we have viewer questions, as we pretty much always do, to kick off the show. And of course, the first couple, very, very much Halloween related, because why would they not be? First one comes from Scroopy Noopers. Your favorite Halloween costume you ever had? I don't really have one.
Oof.
I gotta be honest. Like, there's just not the one that stands out for me. I don't know.
I have a few.
God, like, more often than not, I went, like, there was at least 2 years between the ages of 5 and 8 that I went as a hockey player with, like, a busted up mouth. Those are the ones that stand out.
I went a lot of times as Ghostface from Scream. Those masks were so goddamn popular when I was
They
growing
were
up.
everywhere.
And they're like different versions of them and stuff too. I had like multiple different versions of that. Loved those masks, by
Got
the
the
way.
NWO Wolf Pack, just all the different versions.
Yeah. Dude, okay, so there's a couple, but one of them is from when I was like first grade. First grade, I had this like gorilla mask thing, and as a surprise, one of my dad's like friends or something like that was a seamstress, and she made me a full on like fur fucking suit to go with this gorilla mask. It was the coolest goddamn costume, and I was the coolest kid for a day in first grade, maybe even at the whole school. Like I was getting high fives from sixth graders. Come on.
Damn. Damn.
Yeah, worked my way up. It was sick. Like it was such a cool costume. I remember that a lot because I have always had an affinity for monkeys and great apes. They're my favorite animal as a kid. So obviously 1-year-old, I do that whole thing. And just to have this amazing, like full on jumpsuit that was like crafted for me to go with this gorilla suit or this gorilla mask was amazing.
Now, was this before or after the Bad Touch by the Bloodhound Gang?
I don't
You
even
would have
know.
you would have fit right in with the music video.
Oh, right. Wait. Is that the You and Me Baby Ain't Nothing But
Yeah.
That? Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. Okay. Fuck.
God, when the hell
That would have been,
come out?
let's see. First grade, that would have been 96, so I hope before.
Yeah, this was 99, so you were ahead of the curve.
I was ahead of it. Got it.
There you go. And no, favorite Halloween costume growing up?
I don't have a favorite because like everything before I was like 12 was like a fucking blur. Too many concussions. And one of the most embarrassing ones was after Halloween. I think this was in grade 11, so like junior year of high school. And I didn't have a costume, so my mom gave me like a mechanic's outfit. Just a regular like jumper, put it on.
She said, "Get to work." Because she
Yeah.
because she dressed you up as a chimney sweep back in the day too.
Yeah. So like
Still my favorite picture.
I know.
yeah. Thanks. And I tried not to break, but I broke. Fuck you guys. How do I describe this? People didn't realize I was wearing a Halloween costume.
Yeah.
Like I guess I was that much of a fucking I was that much of a fucking wallflower that like no one even knew that I was in a costume. So they're like, it was like, oh yeah, they're like, you didn't dress for Halloween. I'm like, yeah, I did. They said, you know, you did. I said, I wore a mechanic outfit. It's like, that's your costume? Like, I dressed nothing like a mechanic outfit during high school. I was like wearing like street fashion. I looked nothing like a fucking mechanic at all.
I mean,
then again, my fucking high school experiences were terrible. So
I was gonna say everything you've told me about your high school experience was awful anyway, so this just lines up.
So the first 4 years, so it's 4 years high school, I took an extra year, was terrible because it was a school I hated. Everything was just fucking horrible. My last like year and a half was perfect. Was great. It was awesome. So yeah, maybe that's the reason why I fucking hate everyone like didn't know who the fuck I was. Well, they knew who I was, but I didn't know like I was wearing a fucking costume. But how the fuck do you not see a man in the fucking mechanic outfit? He sees a mechanic. You could say, "Oh, I'm Jason." Oh, but no mask. Mask looks Jason, or just Jason wearing blackface, whatever the fuck. I don't know. Like Jesus.
It's me, Justin Trudeau, the mechanic.
Oh fuck. Jesus.
Our next question.
Yeah, good transition there. Oh shit.
Our next question comes from local dipshit.
You.
If not asked before in the spooky spirit, favorite candy.
This is easier for me to ask. Like, all right, here's my thing. I don't eat candy mostly. Very rarely. Very rarely. During Halloween, I'll fucking eat all of it. But there's some I don't eat. And that's what I'm going to say. It's easier for me to do that because it's so hard for me to choose a favorite. Yes, too.
Now, are we separating candy from chocolate, or are they one and the same?
Aren't they the same? Or are they
I guess you could say so. Like,
well,
not that this is my favorite. Is a Snickers bar considered candy?
Yeah. At least in my eyes. Like, is chocolate not candy or no?
I separate the two.
What the fuck happens on the East Coast? All right,
let's separate my candies from my chocolate.
I'm okay with me to be like, okay, here's a Snickers and here's Starburst, both candy. I'd consider there to be a bit of a divide. But then
you can get into, okay, well, here's Skittles and here's Starburst. Are they both candy? Because they're both sweet and sour.
Yes.
Huh.
Anyway, answer it the way you want to. I'm just going to be answering it in that way.
All right, I'll do a chocolate and a candy. That's fine. Go for it.
Number one chocolate, Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. Easy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Easy. Slam dunk. Undisputed.
Yep.
Candy-wise, so it was last year was, once I'd already moved and my fiance and I had gotten a house, about 45 minutes away, there was this super small coastal Maine town, and they have a candy store. And, brother, you don't even know candy until you get it from a legit old school candy store.
Oh, yeah.
They have the best Swedish fish I've ever tasted in my life. And they have these slightly sour gummy worms that are the most flavorful candy you've ever had in your life. I can't pick between those two because they're both delicious. We go once a year in October. It's the best. It's the absolute best. And
nice.
If either of you come and visit, we'll have to take a trip down there. And
absolutely.
Yeah, it's a great way to stay in shape. Sid.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously Reese's peanut butter is pretty much on top for chocolates, but in the sake of or for the sake of some variety, I'm gonna shout out. Fuck, man, that kind of is the top of it. You know what? Like, what is it? I'm just gonna go off on a mini thing. What is it with the holiday versions of candy that tastes better than the normal ones? I had those like little Reese's, they weren't even peanut butter cups. They're like these little Halloween special, like pumpkin shaped type thingies.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking delicious. Like better than a normal peanut butter cup.
Same thing with like during the Christmas season, the little trees.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Why are they better?
I don't know, but you're right.
So fuck. Yeah, anyway. So those, yeah, dude, other chocolates, that's really, it has to be. I can't even think of it. Like Milky Way, I'll give a shout to Milky Way because those are really good, especially when you heat it up a little bit, like in the microwave. Just, what I used to do is freeze them and then heat them up. So like the outside would still be not melted, and then the inside was like all soft and
fucking Sin's candy hacks over here, Jesus.
Candy wise, man. That's the thing. When I go in for candy at this point, it's mostly chocolates. That I considered candy till now,
which is fair.
Where the East Coast boys were like, "Wait, we had Hershey Factory over here." Shit.
I actually don't live that far away at this point from an
Oh, I
old
know.
chocolate
The East
factory.
Coast is like the smallest thing ever. Like all you states up there is like still not as big as California. Um,
Sure.
yeah, I don't know. I don't need too much of it. I guess I'll go Starburst because it's yummy and sweet, and like for right now, my teeth can still handle it.
Mm. I hear you on that. I'm at the point where the old teeth sensitivity kicking in.
Yeah, I haven't had a Tootsie Roll in I don't know how long. I used to love those things.
Ah, just the
The
thought of it
thought,
sticking to your teeth is awful.
I know. Oh,
Fuck. Endo, your choices here. What do you got?
Like my candies. I'm sucking on a fucking cock. No, sucking on a Jolly Rancher right now.
just the way you started. I'm sucking on this.
Sucking on this
All
big,
right,
nice,
another
juicy
potential-
green apple cock Jolly Rancher.
Another potential episode title: Endo be sucking.
Suck though Mills. Yeah, that. I was just flaming AJ in your Discord because he doesn't like coffee crisp, and I told him that he's fucking mid. He's gonna listen to this podcast like, fuck you, Endo. Fuck you, AJ.
Amazing.
Sorry. But yeah, I love myself a good I would say Reese's Peanut Butter Cup obviously is like number one. Like I'm not sure when, but at one point Reese's like they sold the peanut butter cup as a peanut butter chocolate bar. Like this is recent. So it's the same thing, except the Reese's butter cup is just in like a bar of like a chocolate. It's in like it's kind of like in the way that they do like the Hershey's cookies and cream bar.
Mm.
Yeah, it's like flat and has like the separation in
really
between.
good.
It's pretty good. Not gonna lie. I have a question for you guys. Because I saw a video of this guy chewing on his fucking Jolly Ranchers.
Oh,
Are you a chewer or are you a sucker?
with Jolly Ranchers?
No, with Dick. No, with Jolly Ranchers.
Oh, fuck.
Well, I didn't know if you meant like certain candies specifically, or if it was only.
What are Jolly Ranchers? Little cylindrical bitches.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like our Manscaped deodorant, spherical.
Yeah, but I said
Damn right.
cylindrical. Which
You
that
can't
is,
eat the
by the
Manscaped
way.
one, sadly.
Yeah. I don't know. Again, I don't. Candy's
it the
not really
suck.
my thing. Yeah, but like, why would you bite that crap?
Exactly. Way too hard.
Yeah.
Hey, listen. There's a will, there's a way.
Fair enough. I
Yeah.
respect your chewing ability.
Also, another question. What was the worst? This is like randomly out of there. What was the worst candy you've ever gotten as a kid from Halloween? Or like the most consistent one you always got that you hated the most?
That's a tough one. Trying to think back.
The first one to come to mind, I don't even know if this is my actual answer. The first one to come to mind, dots.
The hell are dots?
Not a fan of dots. They're
Yeah.
just these, they're like fruity gumdrops, but they're not quite as good as like fruit snacks, and it's like the mix. It's like the in between of like a Starburst and a fruit snack, and it just doesn't work.
Okay. Yeah.
I think it was a Tootsie product too, to be honest. But I don't like they weren't quite like a Tootsie Roll. Like, yeah, Dots never did it for me. I could sit here for an hour and try to think of other ones, but that was the first one to come to mind. Dots is my answer.
Yeah, I can't really think of one that I really despised or would always trade away.
Because you gave it away, and so it was out of sight.
Yeah, exactly. You always give it away or trade it away or fucking. Yeah, I really can't remember. The ones I think back on now, it's like, why did I like these so much? Was Smarties.
Oh,
Those
dude,
little bill things, like in those twisty things that were just like basically.
Endo, those would be called
chocolate?
rockets for you.
I know what they are.
I know. I'm just clarifying because some Canadian listeners or viewers will be like, actually, they're called rockets up here. And it's like, yes, we know. Oh, my God.
Yeah, Canada's just a fucking...
Yeah, we say it's okay.
No, I
right.
totally forgot the line. It was from the Robin Williams thing. They're like a loft apartment over a really great party or something like that.
Fair enough.
Man,
though.
so the worst candy that I got, holy shit. So we had so like my area was kind of like I just can use the term yuppie. It was a very yuppie area in like Toronto. I mean, it still was downtown, but it was very
okay. Very, but what happened there in 1850?
Very non-black friendly. I can say that. Very very white, HWYTE, and we had a resident vegan. We had the first vegan I ever heard of, a resident vegan, and she would purposefully give out shitty candy every fucking year. Every fucking year.
Was it purposeful or did she just not know better? As a vegan, was it like purposeful? Like vindictive?
I don't know.
Or
probably.
Okay. Or like, what if she just didn't know because she hadn't had candy in so long?
Endo just viewed it as a betrayal, a personal slight.
Yeah, she gave us trail mix. No. So what she ended up doing was she obviously there was like giving out raisins, but then she gave us like these weird like raisin things, and they taste worse than actual raisins. I don't know what it was. And then the year after that,
are raisins?
She gave us some like weird, obscure like vegan candy. And I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
Did it taste good?
No, it tastes terrible. And like the worst part about it was this is like right when like before veganism hit like its biggest like, where like it started becoming like a mainstream kind of thing. Right before it had its top 40. Right before it had its top 40 radio hit, like right before there. And like at that time, like there weren't really any good like alternatives. Like they didn't really figure out like the secret having this. They didn't figure it out. So we're basically just trying to figure out like what worked for like vegan candies, and those were terrible. Absolutely the worst. Hated it.
All right. I feel like you brought up this question just to talk about how much you hated those vegan candies.
I do too.
Yeah, a little bit, tiny bit, maybe just. Yeah,
I am still offended all these years later.
Yeah, it's ruined my tongue. Got a burn patch because of that. The memories.
From Endo's best friend AJ.
Fuck
favorite
off.
childhood Halloween themed episode or movie, and why is it or isn't it the Great Pumpkin episode of the Peanuts? Favorite Halloween themed episode or movie growing up?
It's really not enough of them.
There's
a lot more books that I loved of Halloween books.
Yeah?
Like these. I can't remember half the names of them now, but like I remember there's a lot. It was this theme, and it might have been they might have had like other books too, but it was like this kind of family with like sort of animals that were not human, but they were very like self-aware, and they had a pet fucking bunny named Bunnicula. No,
I remember
does that
this.
ring any bells? Okay, yeah, I don't fucking know. I think they had Christmas ones too. Like they wrote Christmas stories too, or something. I have weird flashes. Yeah, this like
Bunnicula was like its own thing.
Yeah,
in terms of like a book series for kids.
Yeah, and like the pets were like freaking out because some witch comes in the house and she starts, putting stuff in a stove, and they think she's brewing stuff, and she's just like, a human in a costume with a cold, like, and she's like making soup for herself, and the animals are like freaking out about this. Yeah, I remember those. There's a ton of cool like Halloween books too. One of my favorites was just this description of like, again, it was like I think it was animal based, like these animals watching this area wondering what the fuck is happening, and it's like all these people coming down the street in their different costumes, and I loved that book because like just the cool pictures of all the costumes and whatnot. Like, yeah, I can't remember the names of them. But those are the ones that hit me the hardest, like that I remember the most, and I don't remember because I didn't watch a whole lot of TV growing up. I got way more into gaming. Yeah, yeah. Those are the books that I remember the most.
Oh God, for me, I mean, I'm sitting here trying to go back in my head through all the Nickelodeon specials. You know, whether it be like a Hey Arnold, a Cat Dog, or something like that.
Yeah.
Probably would have been. There was this Hey Arnold Halloween special. That I watched like every year as a kid. and it was basically the premise of the episode was like they were doing a take on War of the Worlds, and it was I don't know, it was just really good. It was just really good. The idea of like the kids faked like this alien invasion to try to freak out the adults. It was just a good one. Nickelodeon episodes, especially around that era, always hit the mark. Endo, anything stand out for you?
Nah. No, I'll be honest. Like I didn't really watch much TV. Like honestly,
I found it. Sorry.
Like we always had like TV, but like I didn't really watch it much. Yeah, but I do remember like the Pumpkin Patch episode, special for Charlie Brown. It was always good.
You know, the important thing out of all of this is that Sin's gonna go buy a version of Banicula.
No. Well, I found the one
time
I was actually talking about. Besides that, and I had it pretty close. It's called "Scary Scary Halloween" by Eve Bunting, and it's about this like this family of cats hiding in this brush and watching all the kids go by in their costumes. Sorry, I'm just so happy I found the title and I see the cover of it and flooded back with memories. Anyway, continue.
Memories of Halloween's past.
Yeah.
Sin for the win. So AJ, you did good with that particular question. The other two questions here are sports related. Before we kind of get into the hockey over about like 25 minutes into the show.
Why is Jessica Chastain going to Martinsville?
So from Penn's fan, something happened NASCAR wise yesterday that I know Sin wouldn't be informed of at all. So driver Ross Chastain yesterday pulled off what is being dubbed the video game move at Martinsville. Now, Martinsville as a raceway is very much, like, I mean, I guess it technically is an oval. To describe the shape is it's an interesting one. But basically the idea was last lap of this race, he was a couple of spots back. So what did he decide to do? He rode the wall.
Oh.
Video game wise, just says, fuck it, I'm going to stick my car to the wall. And he made up like 6 spots on the last turn and just around the loop and gained a bunch of spots.
I actually think I saw that because I was at the gym and just for some reason on the TV was racing going on.
Yeah.
And I seem to recall, was that, what is that? What league of race? I don't know.
NASCAR.
Is it NASCAR? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I may have seen that. I was trying to think of some of the names up there, but I'm pretty sure I saw a dude riding on the wall.
Yeah, he literally quoted the fact that he used to do this in NASCAR 05 on GameCube. But he literally just stuck his car against the wall and fucking floored it around this corner.
That's amazing.
I sent it to you on our group chat on Twitter, but
he picks up speed too. He picks up tons of speed and just fucking goes.
Yeah, I think he set the record for the fastest lap at this particular track. Because he didn't take it traditionally. And 100% they will end up making a rule against being able to do it in the future or some shit like that. Or you're literally just going to have everybody ride the wall all the way around to gain.
He goes so fast. Yeah. Okay, no, this is not what I saw. I saw something else. But that's fucking amazing.
Honestly, it's the most, I mean, unless you're super into NASCAR, which admittedly I'm not. This is the most, like, this was, granted, who gives a fuck about SportsCenter nowadays? But this was like their number one highlight of the night. It's like, when the fuck did NASCAR last get like the top highlight on a SportsCenter broadcast?
Yeah, usually the stuff you see are horrible crashes.
Yeah, exactly. So this was a good little moment for them towards the end of the NASCAR season. But yeah, literally like something out of a fucking movie. Like, this is how Ricky Bobby would win the championship in Talladega Nights. The idea of like, I'm just gonna fucking ride the wall. Like, it was fantastic. Our last question comes from Racing Jays, and today was the announcement of the new XFL teams. We have 8 teams for the XFL in 2023. We have, and I want your judgment on these names, And here, I'll send you something else on Twitter really quickly so you can kind of see it for yourself.
Yeah, please do, because I'm getting the older ones.
That way you can take a look at logos and such if you need to. But let's quickly go team by team. First up, the Arlington Renegades, which is a continuation of what was in the XFL before COVID. Meh. Like, Renegades is an NFL Blitz team name. Like, that's like the most generic create a team name you can come up with, the Renegades. So I'd give them a meh. If you guys have any thoughts on a team in particular, let me know. There's the Washington, D.C. Defenders.
They were a thing, weren't they?
They were also a returning franchise.
Yeah, I remember the Renegades and them, and then there's like the Seattle Dragons, the Vipers.
Yeah, so there's the Houston Roughnecks with their Houston Oilers-esque logo. You have the Orlando Guardians, which I kind of like. They have like this Seahawks-esque green as one of their primary colors.
That's good, because here on Google it says Orlando Guardians, but then it has a picture of Tampa Bay Vipers, so Google's a little confused.
Yeah. There's, of course, because The Rock, the San Antonio Brahmas. Their logo's a bull, because he was the Brahma bull. You get it? The Seattle Sea Dragons. Not just the Seattle Dragons anymore, the Seattle Sea Dragons.
Very important distinction.
The St. Louis Battlehawks are back, and the Vegas Vipers.
Boo!
So Sin has a team to hate, the Vegas Vipers.
Fuck Vegas. Everything.
Followed on Twitter by only one mutual follow of mine, Mr. Danny Webster, friend of the show. I hope Danny gets to cover them. That'd be cool. But yeah, I mean, like, look, I enjoyed that. How much of the XFL did either of you watch before the pandemic kind of took it away? Because I was getting into it. It was fun.
I was really getting into it. I watched a fair amount. Sorry to cut off Endo right there.
He's used to it.
I didn't mean to. Anyway, I watched a fair amount. I was really getting into it. Endo, how about you?
None.
No, fair. I did watch a good amount of it.
To be fair, I didn't know where to fucking watch it.
That's fair.
Because
that is fair.
I didn't know anywhere to watch it at all. So that's not on me. That's on the providers not providing a way to watch it in Canada, except for streaming it.
I loved the rules. I hope they bring back very similar rules, because I loved that. Like the different conversions that you can make. Wasn't it like 1, 2, or 3 points? I want to say.
Yes.
Or there's something weird. Like I loved it. The take on it was great. They really sped the game up, which is good for football. Because in my opinion, that shit can drag. I know a lot of people. It's weird. They say it's a really fast game and call hockey slow, and my brain's wired completely different, and I see it as the complete opposite. I'm not too sure how that line of thinking comes for them. But it must have something to do with, like, I don't know, the rate of scoring, the rate of changes of possession, like more definitive, like it might be like more definitive kind of possessions in football than there is in hockey. I guess. Anyway,
I mean, I
love the XFL.
Yeah, I'm very excited for it to come back, despite there not being like a team geographically for me to root for. So already looking at it, I'm probably gonna bandwagon St. Louis, because of course they got fucked out of their NFL team. So let's hope that their XFL team does well. But yeah, I remember like I went to a Maine Mariners game, and then afterwards, what the fuck did we go to, like a Ruby Tuesday or something like that, because it was the only thing that was open. And there was XFL on the TV, and we sat in that restaurant let's be honest, put that in air quotes. We sat there watching that game for a lot longer than we planned on being in there, because it was just really fun to watch. Yeah. And then 3 weeks later, everything went to shit. But yeah, I'm excited to see the XFL back again. I think, you could sit there and talk about a lot of different controversies with the NFL this season, and having an alternative is always nice. So
yeah.
A welcome back to the XFL. A big thank you to those of you that sent in questions. Again, as always, the link to the Discord is in the description. Whether or not you're watching or listening to the show, get your questions in. Again, we do our shows every Monday and Thursday. Half an hour into this, if not a little bit more, let's get some hockey talk in there, shall we, for our supposed hockey podcast. It's a hockey podcast that isn't about hockey, let's be honest, especially when our 5 presumptive episode titles so far: Flavor Juice, Flatwater Pleb, which might be the winner, Endo Be Suckin', we got White, HWYTE, and Big Vegan. Which one of those will win, or will somehow something top that? Stay tuned to find out. Our first point of discussion, though, hockey-wise today, Devin Dubnyk announced his retirement after 12 seasons in the NHL. Doesn't seem possible that he was the 14th overall pick in 2004.
Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Rough draft.
The Ovi, Malkin draft, Blake Wheeler. Yeah, he was 14th.
Damn.
Selected between Drew Stafford and Alex Radulov. Worth noting, God, there were 33 goalies selected.
Oh, right. Yeah, this was the crazy
draft.
goaltender draft.
Jesus. That first round, though, I mean, Al Montoya played 11 seasons, but 168 games. Whereas Dubnyk, 542 games. Corey Schneider, Thomas Greiss, Anton Khudobin, Pecorine, the star of that particular draft. But for Devin Dubnyk, you know, it looked like he was going to be the guy for the Oilers. His first bit of NHL action was in 2009-2010. 19 games and .889 save percentage. Not great. But then the next year, 2010-11, remember, this was around the time that these Oilers teams were garbage. He had a .916 save percentage in 35 games, a .914 the next year, a .920 the next year. And in 2013-14, .894 save percentage in 32 games, and they get rid of him. For whatever reason, they get rid of him. You know, I'm sure there are the listed reasons out there. Horrible decision in hindsight, although you could argue, you know, would the rest of his career kind of taken off like it would, because he bounced around with Nashville, played 2 games there, it went terribly. He played 8 games for Montreal's AHL affiliate at the time, the Hamilton Bulldogs, didn't play well there. The next season, 14-15, goes to Arizona, .916 save percentage in 19 games, and then gets picked up by Minnesota. .936 in 39 games. Sticks with the Wild for 5 more seasons. Doesn't really fall off until that last year with the Wild. Sin will remember, played 17 games with the Sharks.
Yep.
So it's just interesting that he had a pretty good sprint, you know, pretty good sprint's a good way to sum it up, in a stint as well. With the Oilers, had one bad year, they got rid of him. Bounced around a bit, had some very good seasons with the Wild, one bad year, and this time he just couldn't kind of take it out of the nosedive to keep his career going. But a very solid career for Devin Dubnyk. The Dubnyk.
Yeah. This is just, I think he's a solid goaltender. He wasn't elite, I don't think, by any means. I don't think anyone would try to suggest that, but
no.
Very good. And I mean, 14th pick to use on him is pretty rough, but then again, hey, it was still a pretty good player. But yeah, the hell, it's such a Canadian team thing to do, is to get rid of someone after one bad year.
Yeah. Looking at that particular 13-14 Oilers team.
Is this before Yakupov?
So 13-14 would have been as Yakupov was there.
Yeah, that's right.
Because he was the starter before and after Yakupov got there. But that 13-14 team, you know, the goaltending for the Oilers that season was a mess. They had 6 goalies start at least 3 games. 2013-14, Jason LaBarbera started 7 games for them that year.
Oh my
God. Had
an
.870. Then there was Dubnyk, who was 5th in terms of save percentage with an .894. Ilya Bryzgalov started 20 games for them that year.
I don't remember Ilya Bryzgalov being an Oiler at all.
Me either. 7 games from Victor Foss, 3 games from Richard Bachman, and then 21 games of Ben Scrivens at a .916. That Oilers team that season did not make the playoffs. You'll be shocked to know. Won 29 games. that year. So, yeah, I don't know. Like, Devin Dubnyk was just kind of, I think, they're just like, well, we got Taylor Hall, we got Jordan Eberle, we got Nuge, we got Yakupov, we got to start winning. It's Dubnyk's fault. We got to change something. He's not playing well. Keep in mind their defensemen that started the most games: Jeff Petrie, Justin Schultz, Andrew Ferentz, Nick Schultz, Anton Beloff, and Martin Marincin.
Yeah.
Boy, I wonder why the goaltending, why a 916 of Ben Scrivens looked like Vezina caliber behind a fucking defense like that. I wonder. But yeah, Devin Dubnyk, 914 career save percentage. Really solid goalie, solid career. Won an All-Star and won a Masterton. GG's to Devin Dubnyk.
Yeah.
GG's. And to spice things up for Sin in our lovely segment we call Bedard Watch. The update on Connor Bedard. Through 15 games with the Regina Pats, he has 13 goals, 16 assists for 29 points. Elite Prospects projection for 59 goals, 73 assists, and 132 points in 68 games.
Oh, please. I don't ask for much, please.
You need to find a way to trade Erik Karlsson, as we'll talk about with these upcoming games, because he is going to cost you Connor Bedard.
Trade Reimer. It'll be fine. Trade them both. I mean, I don't see Karlsson moving. Like, there's just no way it's going to happen. Reimer's gone, though. 100%.
As he should be.
And they should do it sooner rather than later, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
The Leafs get there first. Fuck.
Oh, we'll talk about Toronto plenty, even though Endo just has no desire to do so. And who could blame him?
Yeah.
So our day by day then. Let's flash back to the night of our last podcast on Thursday. Not a ton to talk about in depth in a sense, but a lot of things that add up to what happened later on in the weekend. The Boston Bruins beat the Detroit Red Wings 5-1 in Brad Marchand's season debut. He had 2 goals in that particular game. LOL. We'll talk about the Bruins more in a couple minutes. The Minnesota Wild have been kind of on the comeback trail. They beat Ottawa 4-2 on Thursday. Zuccarello and Kaprizov each scored their 5th of the season.
Kaprizov got going.
He did. That is the general theme. Despite the fact that the Minnesota Wild's depth chart, as of 23 minutes ago on Cap Friendly, lists their top line as Kaprizov and Zuccarello, centered by Frederick Goodrow. Don't know if that's been a staple throughout the weekend, but if so, good on those two, because that's an interesting option for sure.
Frederick Goodrow, wasn't he on the Leafs for a minute? Who am I thinking of?
Nashville, Nashville, and Pittsburgh.
Yeah, he wasn't.
You're thinking of Freddie Gauthier.
Yeah. Okay. There. That's right.
Right.
God, where is Frederick Gauthier playing right now? Hold on, that is the perfect
Europe.
that would be my guess. Freddie Gauthier. Yep, Europe. He's playing in Switzerland.
There we go.
There you go, Freddie. Montreal beat Buffalo 3-2 on Thursday. Caden Gooley scored his first NHL goal.
Of course.
And Jeff Skinner scored his first goal of the season. That is that 1 goal in 8 games with 4 assists for $9 million of Jeff Skinner. Ooh.
Yeah. That's the problem with the Sabres is they do these horrible things. They do these amazing, great things. Like the Jack Eichel trade. I'm not saying everything that led up to that was great. They got an amazing haul for Jack Eichel. Probably could have gotten a little bit more, but whatever. That being but then they also have shit like the Jeff Skinner contract, which completely hamstrings them and harms them. It's like it's a sandwich. They do something good, something fucking atrocious in the middle, and like something good, and you can't just eat the bread. You got to eat the whole burger, and
you got to eat the lettuce.
You got to eat. Yeah, and so they're the fact that they're still kind of good with that on their books is pretty impressive. I mean,
He
at least
just
what I mean, good on paper. Like they're gonna probably suck again because of the Sabres, but
friendly reminder, he scored 33 goals last year.
Skinner?
Yeah.
Yeah.
33 goals,
Sure.
63 points
Yeah,
last
okay,
year.
no, yeah, I remember
He
that. It was the
keeps
point
Redemption.
total that was low, yeah.
He keeps going through these like ebbs and flows of like, oh shit, maybe the deal's not bad. Oh no.
Yeah.
And the problem is he is on year 4 of an 8-year extension with a full no movement clause at $9 million per.
Yeah, it was just like such a huge risk, and I felt it was unnecessary.
As did most, I think,
Yeah,
when that
and
contract was.
that's, it sucks. It sucks because I do want to see the Sabres be better. Like they're
Yeah.
kind of a team that at this point just you just feel bad for them. Like, just please get better. Like they have so much cool players, and like, man, you did a great job replacing Eichel in the aggregate. Like you really got something good going for you with the players they picked up. Like a potential future captain, who should be the captain, Alex Tuck. Like
They
yeah.
are currently 3rd in the division.
That being said, the Atlantic
However,
kind of sucks right now. Like this is the opposite of what we thought the Atlantic was going to be.
yeah, because you have Toronto at 500 through 10 games, Tampa's 5-4-0, Florida's 5-3-1. Like, yeah, the Atlantic, while it's not technically bad, there's really only been the one team so far that's been as strong as people thought an Atlantic team might be, and somehow that's been Boston. I don't understand it.
Boston.
Keep talking about that in a little bit. Also on Thursday, the Oilers beat Chicago 6-5.
Good.
Because Oilers?
Yeah, because Oilers. God, McDavid. Fuck.
Connor McDavid with a hat trick to put him on 8 goals on the season at that point in time.
I've watched more Oilers games full than Sharks games this year. I just want to point that out. Again, like I said, I'm making a commitment to not miss as much Connor McDavid hockey because he is our Gretzky.
There is a stat line that I'm going to tell you later on that is very, very Gretzky in regards to Connor McDavid.
Excited. I'm excited.
It's absolutely hilarious. I can't wait to see your reaction to it. Dallas shut out Washington. Jason Robertson, 3rd of the season. And Jake Ottinger with a shutout. Want to mention Jake Ottinger for the sole purpose of next show will be our first let's make our awards predictions. The beginning of the month, let's make our awards predictions at this start of the season so far. Jake Ottinger through 7 games has a 1.4 goals against average and a .952 save percentage.
He's so good. Well, he's good, but I said it in a Dallas system already. You have Pete DeBoer in his first year with a team. He's gonna kill it. The team's gonna fucking kill it. And oh my god, Jake Ottinger. And it's yeah, he and early Carter Hart absolutely carried my fucking fantasy team. But that all aside, god damn is that kid good at hockey. God damn, what a contract.
Now, a bit of breaking news out of nowhere. It's not something we can comment on too much. I sent this to the group chat. Adidas Hockey on Twitter just teased an Anaheim Ducks, or like the Mighty Ducks from the movies style jersey. An Adidas X Disney collaboration showcasing a Charlie Conway jersey. And what looks to also be a different
Hawks.
the black, white, and blue, like Bombay style.
Yeah, it was the Hawks.
Yeah. Dude.
Like division, what was it? Division, whatever division they were, the Hawks.
Yeah, I don't remember.
It's not worth winning if you can't win big.
It appears
I was going to say a bit of it looks like shoes, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
But still, there is clearly a jersey. Because if you pause it, it shows Prime Green and the Adidas badge with that movie, Disney movie style Ducks jersey. That is like, man, I did well. Reverse retro, despite my temptation, I only bought the Bruins. Holy fuck, am I getting one of these though? Depending on the cost.
Have fun trying to afford it though. They're gonna give it to the prices are gonna be so out of whack. and then like every fucking influencer is gonna get like 2 of each, and just like yeah.
We'll see if I'm a good enough influencer. Uh, but yeah, wanted to bring that to your guys' attention because holy shit, that looks awesome. Also, on Thursday, Canucks beat the Kraken 5-4. Ilya Mikheyev scored his first 2 goals of the year, and the Canucks finally won a hockey game. Bruce Boudreau's 600th win.
Whew.
They did it, guys. They did it. Bruce,
Yes,
there
they
it is.
Good for them. And they still
Thank
allowed
God.
4 goals. God.
Oh yeah, they almost blew a lead in that game too. They tried their damnedest to lose that fucking hockey game.
Yeah, Canucks are in trouble.
Oh God, but very, very happy for Bruce to have gotten that win, and it wouldn't be the only win of his that we'll get to talk about. And then the final game on Thursday, I wanted to mention again because we're not going to mention everything. The Sharks beat the Toronto Maple Leafs 4-3 in overtime, featuring Logan Couture's 3rd and 4th of the year, Timo Meyer's 1st, and Erik Karlsson's 4th goal of the season for the overtime winner.
Absolutely. Absolutely. First goal, Austin Matthews, what the fuck are you doing? Wow, that was, I'm sorry, but holy crap, that man, like as much as we like to use that Ovechkin controller disconnected thing, Austin Matthews needs one after that. Gets beat by Logan Couture, who's really not all that fast. He's got some wheels. He, works hard, plays hard, captain shit. Blows by Austin Matthews. What the hell? That can't happen. Austin Matthews is supposed to be developing this defensive game. It's gone back to nil this season. Mitch Marner, same kind of deal. And I feel like I'm Endo right now.
Marner.
Yeah, I feel like I'm Endo right now, talking about the Leafs as much as I am. So I'll switch to the Sharks. Erik Karlsson looks like the Erik Karlsson we traded for. What a fucking year for it to happen. But I'm happy for the guy. He got booed, as we recall, on opening night for the Sharks.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's fucked up. I kind of understand it. I hate it. I hate that people do that. Pretty sure Couture did a little bit too, but nothing like Erik Karlsson. Fans have been more than willing to hang the entire downfall of this franchise on Erik Karlsson, and they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. So just ignore those people, honestly, because they obviously can't see, this huge confluence of events which led to the Sharks being where they are. Thing is, we are where they are. I still love games like this. I watch this team. I understand if they have to lose. I prefer them to lose, but I can't help but love when they win, especially against a team like the Leafs. That being said, the Leafs have about 0 effort right now. They're the opposite of that Herb Brooks quote. Like, they expect that they're going to win on talent alone, and they play down to their opponents, and it's led to them losing to Montreal, Arizona, and the Sharks.
Up to that point.
Yeah, and then they lost to LA and
road trip gets worse.
Yeah, it does. I guess we'll talk about that later.
Yeah. This I kind of have this run sheet set up to be the slow death of Leafs viewership or listenership, because it's just having to relive traumatic event after traumatic event.
Also, Timo Meier gets off a schneid against the Leafs. Barabanov gets on the board against the Leafs. Why'd they trade him, by the way? I'm not mad, but I remember he would play up in there. Absolutely. He was playing up in the Maple Leafs top 6, and like, I feel like he's the kind of player, he has been for the Sharks too, or sometimes they don't all go in, but he's always making stuff happen. He's always making an impact, and he's always fast. And he did that for the Leafs too, as I recall. I think Endo could probably agree with that, is that Barabanov was a dangerous fucking player. He's making a lot less than Kerfoot.
Barabanov, he wanted more playing time, and there wasn't enough in that top 6 role, so they didn't want to put him around, so they traded him away for like nothing, basically.
I know who they traded him away for on April 12th, 2021 for Antti Suomela. Who?
Oh, yeah, the Suomela experiment. Holy shit, I forgot about him.
Who played 0 games as a Leaf, 7 games as a Marley. at least that first season. Then 48 games with the Marlies, and this season is playing in Sweden. So that's one that didn't quite work out for Kyle Dubas. Just a bit. We'll talk more about the Sharks and the Leafs a little bit later on. Let's go into Friday. This is Leafs relevant. Golden Knights beat the Ducks 4-0 on Friday night. Logan Thompson shutout.
God, the Knights have come out so strong, dude. Fuck. I hate
it.
I hate it. I wanted them to suck again, but they're so good. They're just
Wasn't
going
to mention last night's game either, where Jack Eichel got the overtime winner. Ugh, but they haven't looked that bad.
Whatever. Sharks aren't going to be competing with them, so I'm fine. They could be as good as they fucking want.
By the way, point per game, Jack Eichel, 10-10. The goaltending for Vegas is fucking hilarious. Now, at one point, by the way, earlier on this weekend, the Bruins, Stars, and Golden Knights were the top 3 teams in the NHL. What's the pairing there? Bruins coach Bruce Cassidy goes to Vegas. Vegas coach Peter DeBoer goes to Dallas. Dallas coach Jim Montgomery went to Boston. The Golden Knights, under Bruce Cassidy, the goaltending at this stage. Logan Thompson, 6 games, 169 goals against average, 943 save percentage.
Pretty gross.
He's up for Calder this year, by the way. Aiden Hill, 4 games, 172 GAA, 940 save percentage, 4-0.
It's bullshit.
Small sample size, but for a team that was supposed to be fucked goaltending wise because Leonard's not there, fucking LOL.
Remind me what we got for Hill.
Sure you want me to?
Yes!
Okay.
Stab
the
me.
Aiden Hill,
third
the
or
Aiden
fourth?
Hill trade.
God.
On August 29th of this year, Vegas acquires Aiden Hill in exchange for a 2024 4th-round pick from San Jose.
Ah! Fuck! You help your rival. You give them a goaltender who is going to be a 1B, and you get a 4th.
Congrats.
Now, you'll be happy to know.
15-year-old. Congrats.
What was that?
You traded for a 15-year-old. You don't even know his fucking name yet.
Yeah.
You'll be happy to know, though, that this allows the Sharks to actually have a 4th-round pick in that draft because they traded theirs for the signing rights to Lane Peterson.
Yeah, I remember that.
Lane Peterson, who, do you know who Lane Peterson currently plays for?
I don't fucking care.
Because it's not San Jose.
Oh, I know that. Yeah, he was a short-lived thing.
He was with the Carolina organization and is now with the Canucks organization.
Oh, there you go.
So, yeah, everything's coming up Millhouse for your 2 teams in regards to these minor trades. Speaking of coming up Millhouse, on Friday, the Boston Bruins beat the Columbus Blue Jackets 4-0. David Pastrnak scored his 7th of the year.
I wince every time.
Dude, like, okay. David Pastrnak point total. You ready for this? Remember how I mentioned how Jack Eichel has 10-10?
He's gonna have
that's pretty good point per game.
16-9, right?
17-9.
Oh.
And they didn't fucking pay him. He's the NHL's version of Aaron Judge. Oh my God. Boston. No. Don. Like, no matter how expensive you thought he was going to be,
it's more.
He's that much more expensive already. The only person outscoring David Pastrnak this season is Connor fucking McDavid.
Yeah.
That's it. By 1 point. I fucking hate it here, dude. Hate it here. They should have, what would he have cost, do you think, this offseason? David Pastrnak's making, by the way, $6.7 million this year.
Steal.
What was he going to cost? 10, 11?
Honestly, I would have said around the 10 mark.
Like 9. If it was 9, 10, it's now 10, 11, if not a little bit more, right?
100%. I mean,
fuck.
Yeah, I would say like somewhere between 9-10 is like comfortable-ish for him. But at the same time, it's a lot of money, but he is kind of, more ahead of some of those other younger guys getting signed. Because he what, 25 now?
26.
26, yeah. Right in his prime. Um
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna be a lot more expensive. Like, I mean, a lot more. And
Mhm.
if he realizes he's gonna make even more on the open market, because he
Which he
will,
would.
that's how it works.
He's a UFA.
Yeah, so if 8 to 9 was pretty generous before, 9-10, let's say that was the baseline. It's now 10-11 and 11-12 plus open market with how
Yep.
he's playing.
Yep.
What the hell? I don't understand why Don Sweeney didn't pour all of his resources into trying to keep him around. It didn't make sense to me. He's such a good player. Like, I don't care if he's asking for 8 or 9. Pay him the 8 or 9 because he's not had like a horrible year, really. He's been this incredibly good contract for his production, far exceeded it last season, and is just doing it again.
He has not been under a point per game since 17-18 when he had 80 points in 82 games.
It's a fucking McKinnon deal, is what he was on.
Yeah, career 521 points in 519 games. He is a career point per game player.
How the fuck do you not pay him? That's
I am
nuts.
like, it's early, right? But the Bruins at 8-1-0 are statistically off to their best season, the best start of a season in franchise history. This is the best start a Bruins team has ever had. Only had Brad Marchand for one game because he didn't play against Columbus because they didn't want to play him on back-to-backs to not rush him back. Smart fucking management, by the way. I appreciate that, Jim Montgomery. But you've done it basically without Marchand. You've done it without McAvoy. Word is he might be back sooner than expected as well. This is a team that is 98 years old, and this is the best start they've ever had. They're so much better than I expected them to be. As we said in our season previews on the show, I'm like, oh, fuck, how bad is this going to be? They've been amazing. They are the league's best team so far. Unfortunately, there's this looming shadow overhead of like, well, fuck, you better deliver this year because what if Pasta walks? And you could have avoided that situation by just fucking paying him, because there is that fear now all season long until something happens of Bergeron's 37, Krejci already out with injury, and he's going to miss their next game. But I mean, Krejci has 8 points in 8 games. He's been fucking unreal at 36 years old. It's just that idea
Not
of like
playing in the
wanting.
league last year too. That's so disgusting. It's just like, I'm gonna go play and check. All right, I'm back. I'm gonna just be point per game casually after not experiencing NHL hockey. God,
Everything is lined up for them this season to actually do it, to make that one final run. But what happens if you fall short because only one team can win a cup every year? Like, man, if you fall short and it's like, okay, they fell short, but hey, at least, McAvoy's still here, Pasternak's still here. They're going to be okay moving forward. You lose David Pastrnak, and all of a sudden, things are looking kind of shaky. So it's just a little bit scary right now. But, I mean, the team has been fucking outstanding. Linus Ullmark, got the shutout against the Jackets. He's 6-0 with a 945 save percentage.
some good goaltending early on in this season.
Yeah, Swayman's numbers are a bit rough because he had one game where he stepped in and was fucking abysmal. But he got the previous one that I talked about on the Thursday for the Bruins. And in general, yeah, goaltending around the league has been, it's either you're fucking on fire right now or you're ice cold. There doesn't seem to be too much in between in a general stance. And the Bruins also made a trade in the middle of Thursday's game where I kind of mentioned like, hey, I thought, he might be the guy to go. And it's true. The Bruins traded Jack Studnicka to the Vancouver Canucks for goaltender Michael DiPietro and Jonathan Myrenberg, who was, I believe, the Canucks' 6th round pick this year. Bottom line is, Stud's just another one of those guys that the Bruins have had where it's just, okay, you just can't quite crack that top 6. And no shit, you can't when guys like Bergeron, Marchand, and Pasternak, Taylor Hall, like, there you go. There's 4 of the 6 spots. Jake DeBrusk, now that Bruce Cassidy's gone, there's 5 of the 6 spots. You got no space. And that's a highly skilled player that needs to be playing a skilled role and not a random depth role. And, that has just been the story of so many Bruins draft picks over the years. Someone like Ryan Spooner, where it's like, yep, this isn't going to work. 2011 draft pick prospect Alex Koklachev just realized, fuck it, I'm never getting the chance. I'm going back to Russia.
Seth Green. Or wait.
Seth Griffith.
Thank you. Yeah, Seth Griffith.
That's exactly what I was going to name next. Good call. Peter Solaric, Ryan Donato, Anders Bjork, who they traded. Granted, he's not really more of the skill type of player, but who they traded to Buffalo for. Taylor Hall, Zach Senyshyn, Jakob Forsbacka Carlson.
JFK, baby. One thing
Oscar Steen
that I want to point out, though, is that the Bruins aren't afraid to deal those guys.
It's true.
And sometimes it's come back to bite them, Sagan. Other times it just makes them look good and decisive. They're an 8-1 team, and they're just going to deal this guy. If this was Toronto 8-1, Studnicka on that Toronto squad, I hate to bring this back to them, but they are kind of the big talking point in the NHL right now.
Yeah.
They don't make that move because they're like, well, he's useful. He's good at this, maybe we don't need our third line to be this tough and shut down thing. That's what the Bruins have, is a true identity. And the Bruins continue to fucking just thrust into that identity, double, triple down on it. And they're like, Studnicka, okay. Exactly. This is a Studnicka, probably a very, very solid middle 6 score. We don't need that. Bye. Immediately. We're 8-1. We're not even going to scratch you. We're not going to do this or that. It's just, they just cut ties, and that's pretty, I don't know. That's just there's some moments there where it's like good managerial instincts. But then there's also the moments of not signing Pasternak.
Yeah. So
but I wish
Jack the best. A fresh bit of scenery is good for him, for the Bruins. I mean, Myrenberg was a 6th round pick, and then DiPietro, I mean, he's behind Allmark and Swayman at least. He also has to deal with Kyle Kaiser. Keith Kincaid's in the system. So you can't even say for sure that DiPietro is the 3rd goalie. He might be the 4th. Honestly, maybe the 5th, because Kyle Kaiser's the Providence Bruins starter, and he has a .941 save percentage in his first 4 games with the Baby Bees this year.
Is Kincaid in the A backing up Kaiser, or is he in the
Yes.
E? Okay.
So Providence Bruins goaltending in the AHL, Kaiser, 4 games, .941 save percentage. Kincaid, 4 games, .922. where the poor DiPietro wanted to get out of Vancouver to get a chance. This was the worst fucking team to come to. Hate to tell you.
Yeah, it really was. Vancouver rushed him along. He got lit up by the Sharks and hasn't been the same since.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what happened.
Jeez. Yeah, poor guy. I don't know.
Also, on Friday, Devils beat the Avalanche 1-0. Worth talking about. We'll talk about the Devils a little bit later on, but it was a shutout for Vitek Vanacek, who we will mention a little bit more later on. The Islanders beat the Hurricanes better than Caulfield. Oliver Wahlstrom.
Let's go! 4th, baby. Let's go.
Oh, I love it. Brock Nelson woke up his first 2 as the season goes on, and Brent Burns scored his first as a Hurricane. Islanders are kind of waking up a little bit, which is good, nice to see. They have too good of a team, I feel like, to just be mid.
Mm-hmm.
The Canucks won another game. This time over the
GM
Penguins.
of the year. Sorry.
Yeah. It's true. Back to back, wasn't it? GM of the year.
I'm pretty
Lou
sure.
Lamoriello.
Oh, fuck.
Not to be ageist, but Jesus Christ. How is he still around? In a working sense, not in a general sense. Happy Halloween. Yeah, the Crypt Keeper as your GM.
Tales of the Crypt motherfuckers just sitting there with us. Making trades.
Thank you for getting the reference. Appreciate you. The Canucks won back-to-back games. They beat the Pens 5-1. Bo Horvat, 5th and 6th. JT Miller, 5th of the year, but trade him. The Canucks also acquired Ethan Bear and the previously. When's the last time Lane Peterson was mentioned twice on a podcast? Ethan Bear and Lane Peterson from Carolina for a 2023 fifth rounder, with the Hurricanes retaining salary on Ethan Bear, no less.
What?
Uh-huh.
That's incredible for the Canucks. What the fuck?
Yeah, so for the Canes, this was a matter of Bear wasn't cracking it. I do believe there was an injury concern, and I saw Hurricanes fans saying that he just wasn't quite the same, and they weren't as optimistic about him as they would have been when he originally joined the team in the Warren Fogle trade with the Oilers.
Yeah.
But yeah, 18.2% retained. So they have Ethan Bear on 1.8 million. With the Canucks, which the Canucks desperately needed. They have a lot of injuries defensively. Again, another instance of a good change of scenery could work out very well for Bear. Unfortunately for him, it was announced today that Quinn Hughes is back for the Canucks as well. So they have some issues to sort out in terms of who actually gets playing time on that team, while you are still dealing with injuries to Travis Dermott and Tucker Pullman, Riley Stillman, as well as also coming back from injury soon. So the Canucks have a lot of pieces in play there as they try to figure out just what the hell they're going to be this season.
Yeah.
Final game on Friday to mention. Jets beat the Coyotes, the first ever game at Arizona State's Mullet Arena, which for those of you that watched on the ESPN broadcast, I like the guy, but John Buccigross, Jesus Christ, on commentary every 5 seconds. We're here at Mullet Arena. It's Mullet Arena. Hey, did you know it's Mullet Arena? Like, we get it. The name's fun. Holy fuck, John. Settle down. 2 goals for Christian Fischer in the game, but the Jets do win. Honestly, I liked it. There will be, there's that strong divide of, nope, it's embarrassing for the league, or nope, it's cool. I am solely on the side of it's cool. And like I've said, if it comes down to, eventually they get the new arena in Tempe and it still doesn't work and they're still not a flourishing a flourishing franchise, I will be the first person in line to admit that I was wrong and that the team should be moved to Houston, Quebec, wherever. For now, though, this was damn cool. And friend of the show, Pete Blackburn, who was working the gig for Bally Sports, he has a video there, kind of on his Twitter, just kind of going around the arena on the day of. I thought it was awesome. I don't know if you guys saw anything from the game, but Mullet Arena gets a big thumbs up from me.
Yeah, I did not. But I mean, I saw a couple clips here and there, but nothing I didn't watch the game or anything like that. But yeah, it's fine. I don't know. But people like to freak out about shit. People like to just hate on shit. Let's be real.
It's true.
So whatever. If I'm with you, if if they can't figure out the goddamn arena deal, then fuck them at that point. They've had so many chances. But if they can figure it out, goddamn, do it. And I think hopefully they do. Because yeah, I like Arizona.
I do hope it works out. Saturday then. Got a couple more things to recap here. It's going to get worse for Leafs fans. Hate to tell you.
Yay!
Already mentioned Jake Ottinger. I was going to bring up the fact that the Rangers beat the Stars 6-3. Jason Robertson scored again. But yeah, Ottinger has been phenomenal. And again, we'll do our awards predictions next episode. The Panthers beat the Sens 5-3 in the Kachuk Bowl. Very surprising. Sasha Barkov scored his first of the year in this game.
But how many assists?
That's where we go to. 1 goal, 7 assists, 8 points in 9 games.
Yeah, not bad.
Carter Verhaeghe's 3rd and 4th. Matthew Kachuk's 5th for the Panthers. While the Sens saw this combination of Shane Pinto and Brady Kachuk each scored their 6th of the season in this particular game.
Pretty good.
God, we can't even get a Pinto bean from Endo. No Pinto
bean. Fuck. Sorry, I'm out of it 100% on just this episode.
Yeah.
I apologize.
That's all good. It happens. We'll try to cheer you up with more. I mean, hey, you had your contributions with White as a potential episode title earlier on. Don't count yourself out.
Fair enough.
The Lightning beat the Sharks 4-3 on Saturday, but Erik Karlsson scored his 5th and 6th goals of the season.
EK 6'5", baby, worth it.
Dude, he's a point per game right now, 11 and 11.
You're goddamn right. Yeah, he's doing fantastic. He is a blast to watch. I think he's finally adjusted to have to play a new style. It took him a few years to realize he can't do the same things he can do on his, just biomechanically on his ankle, and he's figuring it out. His straight line speed is still there. Thinking back to that OT goal against the Leafs, just blows by the entire team. Yeah, he's looking really good, and we got what I love to see when I'm tanking in franchise mode. We score 3 goals and lose.
Stats look good, but the team's still terrible.
Absolutely. Keep those players growing, baby.
The Leafs lost to the Kings 4-2.
Yeah.
Lol.
Kempe and Velarde both still scored again, who are that kind of like dynamic duo for the Kings so far this year. We'll talk more about the Leafs after Sunday's game because woof. Habs beat the Blues 7-4. Suzuki's 4th, Caulfield's 6th and 7th. Christian Dvorak hat trick for his first 3 goals on the year.
I'm sure it's a typo, but I love how the L is capitalized in Blues right there.
Yeah, it's a typo, but it is fitting. It is fitting. Kyra scored his 2nd and 3rd for the Blues. Blues fans already panicking after starting the season 3-0 and kind of struggling since. I mean, calm the hell down, people. 10 games in, not even. Blues, I think, still played the least amount of games in the league this year. Canes beat the Flyers 4-3 in overtime. Brent Burns 2nd as a Cane, but it was confirmed for the Flyers. Sean Couturier out 3 to 4 months after back surgery. Hasn't played yet this year. And James Van Riemsdyk is going to miss 6 weeks with a broken finger. The man who was kept on Philadelphia, meaning they did not have the cap space for Johnny Gaudreau. Chuck Fletcher, everybody.
Yeah.
Chuck fucking Fletcher. Yet the Flyers still have a winning record this season.
Point. Yeah, still a Torts team.
5-2-1, 11 points in 8 games so far this year. 3rd place in the Metro so far for Philadelphia because John Tortorella. Again, though, as we talked about, if there was ever a John Tortorella team, it would be one where Scott Lawton's your second line center, and you have guys like Zach McEwen and Nick Delorier and Rasmus Ristolainen in the lineup.
Like, just Zach McEwen and Delorier on a line together is fucking brilliant. I don't even know if they are playing together, but that's a fantastic line.
Okay, so here we go. Philadelphia's lines. Farabee, Hayes, Konechny. Not bad. Kevin Hayes leads the team with 10 points in 8 games. Fun fact. 9 assists. Noah Cates, Scott Lawton, Owen Tippett. Kiefer Bellows, who they just picked up on waivers from the Islanders, Morgan Frost, and Zach McEwen.
Oh,
Delorier with Lucas Sedlak and Wade Allison.
What?
That's a real who's that of hockey, isn't it?
McEwen on the 3rd line is already your hint that this team has no depth. Like, holy shit. I love me some Zach McEwen, but I love him as a 4th liner because that's what he is.
I don't know if this was right. Cam Atkinson coming back from injury. He hasn't played yet this season.
Oh, that's right.
It has Couturier.
I always forget that he's there because Voracek's in Columbus.
The master of the assist, Jake Voracek. Just randomly wanted to mention the Red Wings beat the Wild 2-1. Lucas Raymond finally got his first 2 of the year. Slow start in that regard. Kaprizov scored his 6th because it's Kaprizov and he's awesome. Washington beat Nashville 3-0. Darcy Kemper with a shutout. So there you go. He's worth the money. He got a shutout. Stanley Cup champion Darcy Kemper, who actually Washington again, good goaltending. 9-19 from Kemper in 7 games, 9-25 from Lindgren in 2 games. Hilarious. But announced that they are going to be missing TJ Oshie indefinitely with a lower body injury. That's unfortunate for them.
Yeah, they're going to be one of those teams where injuries may be an issue. They're simply at that stage with their roster and those ages.
She's just old. She's just look at her. She's just old.
She's just old.
You can't kick her out. She's too old. Oh, fuck. We love you, Caps fans. Kraken beat the Pens 3-1. Jordan Eberle's first of the year. Jaden Schwartz's 5th. Jake Gensel scored his 4th of the year. But the Penguins Western road trip. Losses to Edmonton, Calgary, Vancouver, and Seattle. You know, I had Pens fans being like, lol Pens. I'm like, why lol Pens? How bad is it? And then all of a sudden I looked and I'm like, oh, yeah, I can understand some concerns. Penguins are going to be fine. Don't worry about it. We're ready for that McDavid number. Final game from Saturday, then we got a couple quick ones on Sunday to wrap this show up. The Oilers beat the Flames 3-2 in the Battle of Alberta. Zach Hyman scored his 5th and 6th. McDavid scored his 9th. Highlight of this game, this was the game where Jonathan Huberdeau left the Flames bench in the first period. Afterwards, head coach Darryl Sutter was asked about why Huberdeau left the bench in the first, and he said, quote, "I think he had to go take a shit."
We talked about this. Like, oh God, I love him so much.
Never change.
He's the best.
It's like funny as hell. Like, it's just so disarming that like people don't even care about what the actual reason is. Like they're like, all right, cool. You're not gonna tell us, or maybe he did have to take a shit, or it's just so good.
64-year-old man looks. I mean, his face.
He
like
looks
he just has the
64,
face of.
But I mean,
he just has the face of someone who's just like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And then he has the credentials to not have to give a fuck. As a multiple-time Stanley Cup champion. Oh, yeah, I had to go take shit.
He just took, like, hella years off from coaching, too. Like, he's just like, fuck it. And then someone's like, he's like, all right, yeah, I guess I'll come back. And just immediately fixes this Calgary team.
Was tending to his farm, just chilling out, honestly. They had like a mini documentary over the past, like, offseason about how his farm is and everything. And he's just chilling, like, yeah, you know, like, when I'm not on the offseason, I'm just kind of chilling by my farm. Just kind of managing the crops. Tending the horses, all that stuff. I'm like, what a fucking, like, that is an Albertan man right there.
The fucking pride of Viking Alberta, for fuck's sake. At least that's where he was born.
Yeah. I mean, just very, very present human being. I like that.
So that Connor McDavid stat. You called him the Gretzky of our era. The 2015 NHL draft, also known as the Bruins draft. Forever and ever, amen, because of course. That was the McEichel draft.
Mm-hmm.
Connor McDavid goes number 1 to Edmonton. Buffalo's pissed they have to settle for Jack Eichel. In that draft, the highest point total is Connor McDavid with 715 in 496 games. Connor McDavid very soon is going to hit 500 career games played, by the way. He would have if he didn't get injured in his rookie year. He'd have it already. So he's on 715 points. Mitch Marner is second in scoring in this draft class with 464 points.
Jesus.
Connor McDavid has 467 assists. He has 3 more assists than Marner has points.
Oh my God.
Oh,
that's a Gretzky stat.
It is. That is.
This reminds me, this is an obscure reference. This reminds me of it was a very notable OG Kevin Bacon stream where you have young Gren and one Bob Jones in a chat together. And Gren is roasting Bob Jones because he's roasting Bob Jones because he's talking about how he pumps gas for a living. And he seems to like, you pump gas! You pump gas! I make more money playing children than you do pumping gas! You pump gas!
Classic.
You get assists! You get points! I get more assists than you get points! He just goes
That is a classic clip. There are, in terms of point totals, my God, Connor McDavid, Jesus Christ. So, in terms of scoring, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Connor McDavid has more goals than all but 9 players from this draft class have points. Like, it's ridiculous. He has, I mean, like, granted, defender, but like Zach Werenski has 241 points. Connor McDavid has 248 goals.
Yeah.
He's unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
And
I know it's just hammering home the same point, but Jesus Christ.
We have to, because we cannot let this become normalized. I'm a firm believer. We have to keep saying how extraordinary this is. I don't care if people get pissed off at it. Sports, like if people are really going to get pissed off by everyone talking about the greatest player of multiple generations. Like, come on, like no, like again, we can't let it become normalized. They still talk about the Leafs more on Sportsnet. Okay, so like
Leafsnet.
Yeah,
there we go. I had to do it. So 3 games from Sunday to talk about. First and foremost, the Devils beat the Blue Jackets 7-1. This comes from CJ Turturro on Twitter. Devils fans were chanting Fire Lindy in the home opener of the season. Since then, the Devils are 6-1-0, the best in the NHL, with a 67 goals for percentage, best in the NHL, and the 67 expected goals for percentage, which is the best in the NHL. So basically,
the fans woke them up. Good job.
Yeah. Fire Dubas. You'll hear those chants very soon. Fire Keefe, Fire Marner, Fire Matthews. We'll hear those at Scotiabank Arena.
God, well, we won't hear them at Scotiabank Arena because the tickets are too expensive. We'll hear them on Twitter.
Yeah, fair point.
Part of me
You'll
wants
hear it
to
outside
ask.
the stand.
I was gonna say, part of me wants to ask one Danny Webster, because I know he travels with teams and everything. Be like, hey, can you sneak me in with your press pass, like real quick? Just come on, sneak me in, please.
I can't afford this game otherwise. Help!
I know. They actually charge the press too.
Oh man,
I wouldn't be surprised.
I would not be surprised. And they give him like fucking popcorn in the suites.
We'll give you free popcorn at least.
Yeah,
you paid for
my
it.
man Endo always thinking about popcorn. Speaking of which,
listen,
here's my empty popcorn dish.
Exactly. I have mine.
It's all right, dude. I'm firmly on board with on the popcorn train. That's my number one snack right now because I love snacking and I can't keep eating full bags of hot Cheetos.
God. So final 2 games to talk about here. Wild beat Chicago 4-3 in a shootout. So again, the Wild have done a little bit better. Boldy's 4th and 5th of the year. Worth noting for Chicago, Seth Jones out 3 to 4 weeks with a right thumb injury.
That's a positive.
Yep. There you go. You guys got better. Congratulations.
You are. Now maybe you won't abandon the zone on your own power play and actually cause me to agree with Patrick Kane.
God, don't make me agree with Patrick Kane on anything.
Yeah, what's that picture of that bald guy? The worst person you know.
Worst person you know makes a great point.
Yeah, I just want that one. Kane's like, where the fuck are you going? Like he's so right. I'm looking at that. I'm like, man, what the fuck is he thinking? And then he turns it over too. He just keeps backing up and then he turns it over. Like, wow.
So, biggest game of the weekend, Ducks and Leafs.
Before you go any further, you forgot one more talking point. You forgot one more talking point in regards to the Wild versus Hawks game. That was also the 62nd shootout win for Marc-Andre Fleury, which passes him past Henrik Lundqvist for most shootout wins of all time as a goalie.
Hey, I totally missed that. Flat out.
Yeah, good job, Endo.
Holy
Look
pride.
at you contributing. You're not asleep at the wheel over there.
No, not at all.
Killing it. Jacques Plante would have had so many more shootout wins if they had to. Sorry.
Oh, Jacques Plante. Give him respect. Fucking hell. All right. Endo, you bided yourself enough time. Really quickly, Ducks and Leafs. Ducks win 4-3 in overtime. You just turn off your mic.
Trevor Zegras.
Bravo. Trevor Zegras, 5th and 6th of the year. The man who Austin Matthews calls daddy. Boy, that disgruntled some Leafs fans on Twitter. I was very proud of that tweet. And, well, we're talking about Ducks. That ruffled some feathers.
I gotta find the tweet now. What the fuck? That's amazing. See, that's the one thing I miss about Twitter. I don't get to see all the drama that you cause, like, because I love to just hop in there and argue for you with randos and then leave for another 2 weeks.
So, from the Ducks' perspective, they win this game, 2nd win of the season, if I'm not mistaken, as kind of sad as that is. The unfortunate news coming out of this is it was confirmed today that Jamie Drysdale is going to be out for 4 to 6 months with a torn labrum, left shoulder. So we had a question from RG Dust. Now that we got the news about Drysdale being out, is it safe to say the Ducks are potentially stalling his development, especially since they decided to throw him to the Wolves in a COVID-shortened season? the injury is just highly unfortunate. You can never really plan, obviously, for injuries and whether or not that's going to happen. You can definitely debate whether or not they rushed a young defenseman into too high of a role early on. From an analytical perspective, it is not a very pretty picture for someone who has been 19, 20 years old during his NHL tenure at this stage. So, I think you don't have to chalk it up to like, oh, now because of the injury. In a general statement, yeah, the Ducks risked Jamie Drysdale's development by rushing him to the league. Doesn't mean that he won't still pan out. And with this injury now, we obviously hope that, hey, someone who has that potential to be a really promising young star on the blue line hasn't had his, natural progression stunted.
Yeah.
It could happen, though. This is a brutal blow for the Ducks, though. They were very much one of those teams that we talked about, that everyone talked about. It's like, yeah, they should be pushing towards a playoff spot this year. And instead, they are dead last in the Western Conference through 9 games played for them.
Assholes. Supposed to be our position.
You lose Jamie Drysdale. Now it's almost a sense of like, well, shit, maybe it won't be the worst thing in the world to be bad. Yeah. And if that's the approach you take, do you alter the direction that you might be looking at with this team? The John Gibson rumors have never gone away. You have some bits and pieces. I mean, John Klingberg as a rental this year certainly seems more likely after signing that 1-year deal. So I'm very intrigued to see what they do in Anaheim. It's been the worst case scenario for them starting this year in a couple of different ways.
Yeah. I really don't want to see Bedard and Zegras together.
Jesus.
Like, can they please start fucking winning? Ugh. I just want one nice thing and to have less nice things in my fucking division. God damn it. Do I have to play against Connor McDavid and Connor Bedard? No.
You might have to.
No. I want one. Oh, that's fine. Austin Matthews is going to come home to the Bay Area where he was born for those like couple months that he lived here. And we'll have Austin Matthews, Connor Bedard, and Connor McDavid in the same fucking division.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourselves, Canada, and your Sportsnet going to become Baynet.
Baywatch.
That's what we'll call the Connor Bedard. If the Ducks are that bad, it won't be like, oh, fucking be bad for Bedard. No, it'll be Baywatch. We're putting that out on Twitter right now.
I'll put an addendum in the fucking podcast and edit it and be like, hey, yeah, audio cut out, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Because it'll just cut out randomly.
There it is. So welcome back, everybody. There you go. There's your addendum. We're good to go. Everybody remember hashtag Baywatch, BAE watch, as Sin has coined it, for our Connor Bedard watch, the showdown between the San Jose Sharks and the Anaheim Ducks for who will secure Connor Bedard. The actual answer, New Jersey, randomly. The Devils again. Because why not?
I would hate it.
That said, we talked about the Ducks' perspective of that game on Sunday night. Let's talk about the Leafs. I suppose we have to. Was wondering if there would be any particular news in regards to any potential changes with the Leafs after this game. By the time we recorded the show, the answer is no. Nothing has happened. Nothing has changed as of yet. After a frankly embarrassing road trip for the Leafs. And they are right where they were and still are and have been and continue to be, where it's very clear that that team doesn't have it in its current form, that changes need to be made. As we mentioned last show, it's Kyle Dubas's contract year. However, while it's not his fault, coaches are more likely to go, so everyone's just kind of waiting for them to be like, yep, they fired Sheldon Keefe, and that was a mistake. When in reality, let's be honest, a trade or 2 or 7 is probably needed to figure out the issue with this team. Yeah. I'm not a Leafs fan, so I can only imagine how exhausted Endo is of this conversation, as I'm exhausted of this conversation, because nothing is changing with this team. It's just the same thing over and over about how they don't start on time. Where's the effort level? In this Ducks game in particular, Mitch Marner walked down the tunnel and threw a tantrum essentially, and was then put back out onto the ice in the overtime.
Yeah, came back and was allowed to play. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. What happened to that whole like stay the course of the Leafs mentality from like the man? We always wanted to stay the course no matter what. Like you finally discipline one of these fucking kids, and then you're like, all right, fine. I guess I need you. You just goddamn like I'm sorry. Like I want to love Mitch Marner so much. So much because he has the potential to be this absolute water bug of a player, sick offensive skill set. But unfortunately, he was raised by a shitty fucking father. And
correct.
And that poor kid had no chance, and he's got a shit attitude and really is never really been told no that much. And like has been told like if he was, it was always I don't know. Man. Like I think he's trying to discover his own identity here, and good God is he struggling. But I'm trying not to get too deep on this. At the same time, it's just you can't I don't know. I can't keep like giving him the benefit of the doubt. Like he does these good things, looks good, but then it just has these moments like that where it's just like, wow. And again, you have a coach who like decides to discipline him and then like completely backtracks on that in overtime.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird. That organization's kind of a mess. I think Keefe's honestly completely lost at this point. And again, it's not his fault. And he's probably going to be one of the ones to go. But, like, think about Leafs. Even before Babcock got there. Who was the guy? I forget his name now.
Maurice?
No.
Maurice, Randy Carlyle, and some other fucking...
There was someone in between Carlyle and...
what the fuck was his name?
Babcock. It starts with like an H or something like that, doesn't it?
Peter Horacek.
Yeah, Horacek.
Oh, shit.
It's been the thing since that. Babcock's gonna fix it. Fucking all right. Fuck Babcock. Abusive. All right. Hurt Marner's feelings. Get rid of Babcock. All right. Bring in Keefe. Oh, they do okay at front. Oh, no, he can't handle it. Can't handle it. So, and we're a new coach. Is that the plan? Maple Leafs gonna bring in yet another new coach when this team has been doing the same things. This group, honestly, it's not even the team. You can't even say curse. Like Morgan, Riley, Austin Matthews, Marner. They've all been there for long enough now. Like 5+ years, all of them.
Mm-hmm. I mean. Horacek was brought in during the 14-15 season when the Leafs were absolutely dog shit and they were tanking. So I don't blame Horacek for doing that.
No, I'm not blaming him. I'm just saying, like
under Horacek.
Yeah. I'm not blaming him. I'm not blaming any of those coaches. Actually, I'm actually saying that why is it the same fucking story with this team under all those different coaches? I'm not blaming the coaches at all. I'm actually vindicating them.
Yeah, I mean. You know, the bottom line is Kyle Dubas likely gets until the end of this season. And what happens afterwards, I mean, it's frankly, you know, it's solely dependent on the results. Honestly, I think if Kyle Dubas goes, Brendan Shanahan should go too, as Dubas is superior. Yeah. I think you just look for an entirely different direction. If you're going to get rid of Kyle Dubas, it's very similar to the idea if you're going to get rid of Don Sweeney, let's get rid of Cam Neely. You know, like just... you know, clean house, start with a new idea. Yeah. I do think Sheldon Keefe is still the most likely to go because it is much easier. It's the easiest thing you can do is to get rid of a coach. And, you know, I agree with the take that, well, fuck, you know, they started by listening to this coach and then they stopped. I agree. It's a trend. So it's not likely to stay. You know, is Barry Trotz going to solve that issue? Probably not.
He's also been quoted saying he didn't really want to coach this year either.
Yeah,
as I recall. So, like,
I
don't know where Leafs fans get this idea of he's always going to change his plans for us, but that's a very, very Leafs mentality to have.
You know, I mean, I mean, fuck, what is the answer for this team other than just like something's going to change? Because nobody has the confidence if they stay the course that it's going to work out. Nobody is like, yep, that's the right idea.
They got to trade one of the big pieces. That's the only way to
Yeah.
really fucking send the big message that they want to send. And do they even send it? Like, I don't know. I don't know if Austin Matthews or Mitch Marner or even some of these other guys, like, I have better feelings about Tavares, better feelings about Morgan Riley, even though he's really bad in his own zone. He at least tries. Sometimes I feel like Mitch Marner and Austin Matthews are, I don't know, don't quite have the effort. Nylander at times too, but it doesn't hit as hard as Matthews Marner because they're being paid all that kind of money. And it's like, man, could they handle that sort of level of fame being in Toronto with that level of money at the age that they were? That's a tough task. Like, we got to think of those there, like, think of yourself at, if you're past this age, 20 years old, all of a sudden you're starting to make millions, like, in the largest market with all these sponsorships throwing themselves out there, everyone throwing themselves at you. Like, sometimes it's easy to get caught up in that, and egos can get involved. And what the fuck is happening in Toronto? Because they don't listen to anyone. It seems they don't get up for anyone. They don't play for anyone. They think they could just skate by. It's weird.
Yeah, I look at their roster. I have no idea what the answer is. I know I'm sure you feel the same way.
Well, for this whole entire road trip, the only person who was actually giving any effort in when they were down was John Tavares. In that whole top six, the only person who was actually skating was John Tavares. So trading away the one guy who arguably has been putting in the most effort when the time has been needed for him is a bad decision.
Yeah.
You don't trade Austin
I don't think
Matthews.
they can trade him with that contract.
They can't trade anybody. That's the thing. Because that's a panic trade. They got 4 points,
but is it
out
a panic
of a
at this
hypothetical
point?
8 points during this road trip because they beat what is it? They beat the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
They overtime loss against the Kings. Overtime loss against the Sharks and against the Ducks, and they lost against the Kings. So that's 4 out of 8 points. I mean, it's not great, it's not bad, but they could have lost everything. I think if they lost every game on this trip, Keith's job would be in fucking peril. I think right now the way I look at it is like, well, we got half of possible points to get out of the situation, and I think they're gonna have this homestand and then have a few games there and see how it goes.
I don't know if they can, because to me, I can't just look at this season because this isn't just this season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
they do the same thing in years past. So it's like, how many times are you going to say, oh, it's just this amount of games, it's just this amount of time? Like, it's the same group.
Like, the Leafs go into a playoff series tomorrow against Boston. You confident in the team that's there right now? No. Would you be confident against the Rangers? Carolina? Florida? Tampa? Pittsburgh? Like, how many teams in the Eastern Conference are Leafs fans like, if we stay the course with this team, we get to the playoffs, we can beat that team in a 7-game series? How many teams?
At this point, zero.
Yeah.
Like, they underperform against teams that should not, like, be anywhere near. Like, no offense to Sim, but we should have won that game.
Yeah,
we should have won. We should have swept this entire fucking weekend. We should have won every single game.
You gave the Ducks their first win, right?
Second.
Oh, okay. Oh.
It's just a little bit as less. Just not as deep as it is. But just they should have won every game. And to come back with 4 points out of 8, I mean, it's not bad. I mean, thank God they're still giving out like pity points for like losing overtime.
It is 10 games. But if you were to tell Leaf fans at the start of the year, through 10 games, you would have the equal point percentage. So right now, there are 3 teams that have played 10 games that have a 500 point percentage. Toronto, LA, Seattle. Are you happy through 10 games being able to be directly compared to Seattle and Los Angeles? No. Like, for that Leafs team, that is a terrible run.
I don't care how weird the schedule is either. Like, that's every fucking excuse under the sun has been used up for the Leafs except for addressing the same issue which has plagued them for 5+ years. The entirety of this new core is that
Yeah.
they don't show up. The most exciting moment that they ever had, and that you forgave them for losing, was that 7-game series. I think it was 7, maybe it was only 6, against the Capitals in the first round, which was Matthews' rookie season.
Yeah.
That was like, the new, they looked okay. You forgave them for some defensive mistakes because they're young, but they really looked like they were trying. Like they're fucking excited to be there. They were going for it. And what the hell is the issue now?
Yeah, that series was like, oh man, this is a taste of things to come. They're gonna be fucking juggernauts in the future. No, they still have the same mentality.
They got softer in the playoffs
Mhm.
than that first year. I don't that's weird. That's a complete backwards of what you expect.
You know, in terms of the coverage the Leafs get, there's a reason for it. They are the most puzzling fucking organization in the sport.
And the most popular. RIP.
Yeah. I mean, while you have a team like Arizona that are playing in a fucking college stadium at the moment, while you have a team like Seattle and Vegas that are still so new, and everything that Vegas has undergone, Montreal and the weird ebbs and flows that they've had lately, and all of this, the emergence of Florida, Buffalo turning around, Edmonton not being able to get to a final, Connor McDavid, still the most interesting and puzzling team of them all is Toronto. And just something has to be different. Something.
Yep.
That's all I see Leafs fans clamoring for. It's just something has to be different. Even if it's trading fucking Alex Kerfoot or Justin Hall, just do something. Anything. Please, God, because this team isn't it right now. So Leafs fans, we'll see you on Thursday when we have the same exact conversation, because we've been having the same exact conversation about the Toronto Maple Leafs for 5 years now. And there is apparently no end in sight in that regard.
No.
Yeah, boys, I think that does it for what has been one of our longer shows in a while. But you know what? It was fun. There was a lot to talk about, and we spent a lot of time talking about candy. And, never a bad way to go about it.
Nope.
Sin, what do you have going on in the content creation spectrum?
Yeah, just franchise mode. Everything else fucking sucks. So right back to, playing only franchise mode of NHL.
Goodness. I was going to try to make like an OnlyFans joke about franchise. And it's
only franchise. I should start an OnlyFans and call it Only Franchise. That'd be funny as fuck.
That's the way to do it. Endo Mills, how about you? Are you still kicking away at NHL 20 Be a Pro?
I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, man.
All right,
I get super sultry or super depressed, but
we got an endo-stential crisis going on for this episode.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like I tried to boot up NHL today, had some fucking weird ass bounce going online, and I was just like, yeah, I'm not gonna bother with this game anymore.
You know what you need to do? You know what we need to do?
Play NHL 2K10.
Yes, do that. But
Why,
also,
so you guys can verbally abuse me again? Like, Jesus Christ.
Always. We're your friends. That's what it's for. We need to get you Gotham Knights. So you and I can just run around spin kicking people in the face. It'll turn your mood right around, I promise. Last night,
fucking only heavy attack and like fucking kick people. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I hate the way you play. Because you just find the one thing that works and does the most damage, and you spam the fuck out of it. I'm like, God damn it.
Just be Red Hood and Superman punch people in the face for 4 hours. Man. It'll be the most fun stream you've ever had in your fucking life. I know it was for me.
As soon as I get paid from this guy, I'll definitely buy the game. We'll fucking just rip it all night. Fuck it.
That's the way to do it. I wish there's 4 characters, but it's only 2-person multiplayer. But I wish it was 4 because it is the best.
Limitation.
But yeah, with that, you can catch the fellas and I probably rocking some NHL 2K10 on stream. YouTube wise, I'm gonna pretty much be forced to be turned into one of those playing this game in 2022, playing NHL 11 franchise mode in 2023. That's my content moving forward because I got fucking nothing to do with NHL 23 at this point. Talk about video game related seasonal depression. Here we are. NHL 23 hits, bam, I'm depressed. It's funny how that happens. We got the high of Madden, NBA, and FIFA, and then the NHL train. It's like a roller coaster where you're like, this is great, and then it's just a bottomless pit of despair.
It's
NHL
like the
23.
drop, and the drop just never stops.
No, it stops. It stops, all right. You're like, here's the peak, and then all of a sudden, the fucking cart of the roller coaster just falls off the cliff and plummets to the concrete.
It doesn't even go over, just goes sideways.
It's like, this is gonna be great. You just tip over.
Yeah.
Oh God! Thank you all again for listening and watching. For listening to and watching an episode of the Tougie Steak Podcast. We appreciate you. We'll be back here on Thursday to talk about NHL 23 related depression and everything that goes on in the hockey world and whatever random ass questions that you ask us, because that is the best part of the show. Let's be honest. We will see you then. Thank you again. Manscaped.com, code Tougie, 20% off. We love you. We'll see you Thursday.